Looking at the dollar index, as you can see what happened last week. If we go to the weekly, you can see that we clearly had a strong dollar, which took us back to 90.5 out of 90. We pretty much consolidated out of 90, spiked below 90, but closed very bullish that day, and reached into 90 again. That wick high right there. If I just bring in this, you can see it right there. That takes us right back down. But then this daily right there took us up. And now we're at this level again, where we have this level here and this level here. So we'll see what happens. Personally, can this keep going? Yes, it can. If we go to the 8 hour, this can keep going because this, as Marco reiterated on his video, this is a nice favorite retracement. It's a nice target at 91. Whoever get there. Have this nice level here, but you can adjust that. As you can see, it's just in line with that right there. Before maybe we can get a retracement. We'll see how that plays out. But for now, dollar bulls are looking pretty good. But the money that was trapped at 90 is holding up, and looks like we could make a push for 92.5 before the end of this year. Let's note that we were just at 92.5 in March, so that push at the end of last year, we tried to breach this, made a push for 92.5. So can we see 92.5 again? And potentially gold, the dollar can get off its back foot. We'll see. Looking at my pairs for this week, what we can see is GJ is looking good. What do I mean? Let's look at the weekly. On the weekly, we can see that we had another consecutive bearish week, but still, that is a weak bearish candle, so you can't really discern anything. You can see we didn't really spike into any place major. We did spike into the open of that bullish impulsive candle, the inside bar. We'll see if that plays out on the daily. We had a bunch of wicks to the upside and downside, as you can see. At that 155.2, you can see that held us there. Retested, breached that slightly close. So my question is, how does this daily close? That'll be the first thing to tell me how we're looking. On the 8 hour, as you can see, we've really created a nice roof ceiling that we can breach here. As you can see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, 5 try to breach that and failed. And maybe we'll get a fifth time here. We'll see. The 4 hour, this is a nice counter trend. Even though I like the daily, I like the uptrend. This is a nice counter trend we can see. So stop trying to trade against it. What do I mean? You've had the retest, low, retest, low, retest, possibly low again. We'll see, but price does not seem to be deterred by any of the moves, and the dollar is gaining strength. So that is showing that we will be turning into a risk off tone, and the pound has been looking slightly weak. So what are my levels to watch for? Personally, I'm just set an alert for it right here. 154.5. That has been a key level. As you can see, we've had spikes into there numerous times, and I'll just set this right now, and 155.2. Those are my key levels what going into this week. And see how that plays out. Personally, I do feel like we could see 154.1 again, but if we fail to breach 154.5, as you can see, but just like as you can see here, we already tapped into that. We can get a nice double bottom out of there. There's no reason why we can't see. I know this sounds two-sided now, but there's no reason why we can't see us reaching these highs. But it's really just what happens. If you look at GU on the other end, with the dollar strength and the slight pound weakness, you can see that we were consolidating. You can call this a bit of fake out, or you can call this a lower low. Personally, I just call this an extension of the consolidation. See, if you go to the daily, you see that we had numerous candles just in this range. We haven't actually closed below this range. So I want to see, can this candle close below the consolidation? Can we close below 1.41? That's my question. So I'm just gonna write that there. Can we get a closure? Get a daily closure below 1.41 to confirm dollar strength. Because if we do close below 1.411, that tells us one thing, and one thing simply, that dollar is looking strong. We're looking strong. If we get a candle that's kind of looks like this, it's bearish, but not so bearish. Maybe we could see one more upside, of course, with the dollar confirmation, but that's what I have my eyes on. On the upside, I guess we could come into here, maybe get a nice retest, but I don't really see that happen. But of course, it doesn't matter what I think, what I see happen, it's what actually happens. We trade. Gold, as you can see, 1900 was a massive level. The US yields just seem to keep falling, but somehow gold still keeps falling. Why? Because of the dollar strength. And ask yourself, why do people need to buy, say, the vaccine is working, apparently, so to say, for people who take that, and what else? Countries are opening up. Now, I haven't actually researched the the UK postponing their lockdown, but they're opening up. But I'll check that out. But as you can see, just looking at this purely technical. Oops, what is that? Purely technically, we can see that we couldn't breach 1900. This was a nice inside bar from this level here. We tested 1900. That spike, if you just look at this spike right there, just line it up, you can see that we had 1, 2, 3 spikes there, and we couldn't breach because look what happened this time. When we came from the lows as usual, we spiked into there, inside bar, massive shooting star. That was the start of it. And this level has held again. So do we see 1960 before we see 1700? Personally, what do I think again? On the daily, can we breach these lows? First of all, can we close below these lows? Can we close below 1870 at this daily spike right there? I really like that right there. At that daily spike, if you just line up, you can see what that comes into on top of 1870, which of course we tapped into and extremely bullish for us. Gave us a nice hammer. But then on Friday, we ran straight into 1900. So extremely bullish. Let's just go back to the colors. You can see massive bullish candle. So for those who trade the Fibonacci or whatever, if you had pulled out your fib or something, this was prime spot to take a trade. And now smacks right back down, fails to create a higher high. Lovely bearish engulfing or Mariposa, full of momentum, so there's actually no surprise why this candle continues to melt. As you can see, paying attention to the wicks, you can see we spiked into 1900 numerous times to get to the 8 hour. You can see that a lot more clearly. 1, 2, 3, shooting star, shooting star. Small candle, indecision, spike down. 4 hour gives it to us a lot more clearly, as you can see. Inside bar right there, shooting star faces down. Look at that. You're back, down. What can I see? Could we retest this level right here? This is, for me, this might be a tiny level to watch right there, because if you look at this, you can see we've had there, we've had this spike into it, 1885, and this little push onto this. If we go to the lower time frame, I'm sure we can check something out on that time frame and see right there. That's it. So if we're gonna get a retest, maybe into that region, we'll see how that plays out. So for gold, it's bears because the dollar bulls are back in the market. And that is what is going to happen this week for me. And everyone trade safe, and I'll see you guys next week.